So this is the Smoke Genie. I bought it for like $600 or $700 a couple years ago, right after their Kickstarter ended. I found their website and I saw that they were still selling like another batch after the Kickstarter ended. So I threw my money in. I think I saw a review of it and I just immediately wanted one. With a little bit of smoke and a little bit of light, you can immediately make things a lot more interesting. And I think this is great for like thumbnails and stuff. It also came with a fan and I could use that to make haze. And one of my favorite attachments that it came with was the liquid smoke tube thing. Stick that on there. And when you're done, goodbye. I've really enjoyed this thing and I bought it with my own money. It also came with a nice little kit, some extra fog, and a couple of these little cartridges. But PMI Gear has reached out to me and they sent me their upgraded version of the Smoke Genie, which of course still makes smoke. Still comes with the same attachments and a fan, but they've upgraded a few things. One of my favorite upgrades is their little remote, because it also comes with a new attachment. The fan can finally attach onto this little guy right here. It won't really stand up on its own very well, but it does have a 1/4-20 thread. But now the little remote activates both the fan and the Smoke Genie. So you can remotely activate your, smoke effects. And I think that's awesome. They've also upgraded the little cartridges though. Here's one of the old cartridges and here's one of the new ones. The new ones are basically like an unbreakable polycarbonate. They've hit it with a hammer in their own marketing videos. The old ones would crack and break if you dropped them because they're made of glass. I generally keep these things buttoned up in their little travel cases in case you have them filled with fluid, because I do notice that sometimes it will leak a tiny little bit, but if it's in this case, then it's really minimized. Connecting them to the Smoke Genie is pretty easy. You just screw them off and screw them on. They added a bunch of different levels of adjustability for the new version. The old one has this shiny plastic material that kind of gets fingerprints and smudgy really easy. And the new one is this like more matte material that's less prone to fingerprinting. I can barely tell these apart. They look basically identical. The finish is just a very, very minor change. Previously, I would always have to use both the Smoke Genie and hand hold the fan. So I couldn't have any hands free. Here's the new one, here's the old one. I'm gonna set up my smoke detector. Let's go outside. This is the new one, this is the old one. The old one only has 5 levels of configuration, but in terms of how the new one operates, the 5th and most powerful level, to access that on the new one, you have to hold down the power button to access the pro settings. And then when you first access the pro settings, the power level will be halfway. Then you can bump it all the way up to 10. Now with the old one at 5 and the new one at 10, you will activate a timeout on power level 10 with the new one. The timeout is there to protect the little smoke chambers and, provide the most longevity, but you can override that by just repeatedly pushing the button. On the new version, on level 5, you can run them continuously without triggering that timeout, so long as you keep the fan at level 5. The minimum flow rate of the new Smoke Genie is also a lot lower than the minimum flow rate of the old Smoke Genie. But I have noticed when you're using the minimum flow rate with the minimum fan speed, sometimes you get the faulty tank warning, and I got that with both the tanks that came with my unit. If I prime it basically with one of the higher speeds, then the lower speed will continuously work. Here's an example. Faulty tank, but prime it with a little bit of a higher speed first, and then change the settings down to the low speed, and then it will continuously work. Well, let's make something cool. I wasn't looking for an improvement on the Smoke Genie, but they improved it, and it's way better now. I already recommended the old one in the past a lot because I really liked it, so everything that they've done for the new one is awesome. And they worked with Tilta to make a 3-pronged Smoke Genie holder so you could fill up event spaces more quickly. It's called their event kit. So I think what they're doing is really exciting. They've made a lot of huge improvements to an already really amazing product, and I think that deserves some praise. A couple things to know if you are getting the Smoke Genie. It does not come with its own batteries, or at least the ones that I got didn't. I think some vendors are including batteries now, but just make sure you check before you buy. If it doesn't come with batteries, they have links to where you should buy them on their website. I'll also include that link in the description of this video. They're rechargeable, you can plug it in via USB, you just have to buy the batteries yourself. The fan also uses the same battery, and the remote also uses a super specific custom little battery too. It's not custom. I mean, you can find a link to where you can get all the batteries on their website. Don't be disappointed when it shows up because you don't have batteries, because I was. Thank you PMI Gear for sending out the upgraded version. If you want to get your own Smoke Genie, there's a link to where you can get it in the description of this video. And that's it.